First one, it is a meaning of growth and development. Generally, a country is said to be in growth means it is usually measured through a national income. Then, a country is in a development position means it is explained through the quality of the life. So, the quality of the life which has been measured through three indices. One is an Human Development Index. The next one it is an Quality of Life Index, and third one it is an Gross National Happiness Index. Okay. Then, the level of economic development, the nations are classified into three categories. One is an developed, underdeveloped, and developing economy. So developed means the country which are highly used and industrialized, and then the country which have a high per capita income, and then they use their resources in an effective manner. This is said to be the country is in a developed position. Then the country is said to be in an underdeveloped position means that they won't use their resources in an effective manner. Then the per capita income will be low, and then the country will not be using industrialization. Okay, so this is considered as an underdeveloped country. The third one, it is a developing economy. So developing economy means the country which use their resources in an effective manner. Then per capita income will be equal to the total population, and then the country will be using using mixed economy. Okay, so the example for the developed economy is USA, Canada, France, German, and UK. Then for the underdeveloped economy is Sub-Saharan Africa, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Pakistan, Indonesia. And the very good example for developing economy is India. Okay, next we saw about an Indian economy. So see here, Indian economy, that is among the top 10 countries. Okay, the total GDP of Indian economy is 7%. So India stands in the 7th position in the topmost all 10 countries. So this graph which explains about where the country, that is where India it is. Okay. Then we saw about the features of an Indian economy, that is the strength of an Indian economy. So first one, India has a mixed economy. Then second strength of an Indian economy is an agriculture. And third strength of an Indian economy is emerging market. And fourth one, it is an emerging economy. Fifth one, Indian strength is fast growing economy. Seventh strength of an Indian economy is a fast growing service sector. It is a tertiary sector. And then seventh strength of an Indian economy is a large domestic consumption. Eighth strength of an Indian economy is a rapid growth of urban areas. And ninth strength of an Indian economy is a stable macro economy. And the 10th strength of an Indian economy is a demographic dividend. Next we saw about the weakness of an Indian economy, that is why it is still more it is in the 7th position. So what are the drawbacks that Indian economy is facing? So one is a large population. The second weakness is an inequality and poverty arising in an economy. And the next weakness of an Indian economy is that increasing in the price of the essential goods. And the next weakness of an Indian economy is a weak infrastructure. And fifth weakness of an Indian economy is an inadequate employment opportunity. Then sixth weakness of the Indian economy is an outdated technologies. Okay. Next, we saw about an demographic trends in an Indian economy, that is the economy studies, that is a scientific study of the characteristics of the population. So through detail we study about the population. It is known as an demographic profile. So demographic trends in India is first one, it is in size of population, rate of growth, birth rate and death rate, density of population. Next one, it is an sex ratio, life expectancy at birth and literacy rate. Okay. Next, we come to know about the main thing. So now we come to know about natural resources. Today we are going to see about natural resources. Natural resources means what? That is any reserves or stock, okay, so which is get from the nature, it is called as a natural resources. That is, any stock or reserves which gets from the nature, it is called as a natural resources. Okay. So the major resources, the major natural resources of our country is land, forest, water, mineral and earth. Okay. So this is the main resources which are filled in India. So first one, it is in land, forest, water, mineral and energy. So India is rich in natural resources. Then, but the majority of India are poor. Why they are poor? Because see here, the nature has provided a diverse climate, several rivers for the irrigations and power generations, rich minerals, rich forest and diverse soil. So in India, it has been filled with an abundant of minerals and very good climatical conditions. But still we are poor. Why? Because we are not utilizing the natural resources in an effective manner. Okay. Next we come to know about an type of natural resources. So we have two type of natural resources. One is an renewable resources and another one is a non-renewable resources. Renewable resources means that is the lifespan. It can be generated again and again. So forest, wildlife, wind, biomass, tidal, hydro energies. So these are the example for the renewable resources. Non-renewable resources means that we cannot be generated, that we cannot get again and again. So once we extract it, again it cannot be extracted. Okay. So for example, fossil fuel, coal, petroleum and minerals. Okay. Then we come to know about resources. We have two resources. One is an land resources, another one is an forest resources. So land resources means that the area which stands, that is, see here, the Indian rank in the area that is in the 7th position in the world. So the total area space is 32.8 lakh square kilometer. That is total area which is 2.42% of total area of the world. So India is really a big country. Okay. So everything which is favorable for India. So India has a very good natural resources. Next we come to know about forest resources. The second resources is the most important one. So India's forest covered in 2007. So census they have taken. So the forest area alone, which is 69.09 million hectares, which constitute and 21.02% of the total geographical area. Okay. So next one, it is an 8.35 million hectares is very dense forest and 31.90 million hectares is moderately dense forest, and the rest of the thing, it is 28.84 million hectares is an open forest. So in 2007 they have measured total hectares, that is total forest area which is covered is 69.09%. So that is considered in percentage means it is 21%. So see here how they have generated among the 69 million hectares, that is 8.35 million is an dense forest. Very dense forest means it is very thick forest, and 31 is moderately dense forest, and then the rest is an open forest. Okay. Next we come to know about mineral resources. So see here we have nearly 7 minerals which is rich in India. So first one, it is an iron ore. Second one, it is an coal and lignite. Third one is an bauxite. Fourth one, it's a mica. Fifth one, it is an crude oil. And sixth one, it is an gold. And seventh one, it is an diamond. Okay. So let us see the first one, it is an iron ore. So we all know about an iron. So India possesses a high quality iron ore in abundance. So India have an abundance of iron ore. So the most important one, that India has more iron ore in India. So the total reserves of an iron ore in our country, that is how much we have, the total resource, the entire resources of iron ore in our country is 14 million tons of hematite. Okay, so hematite, it is also an iron ore. Then 10,619 million tons of magnetite. So this is all based on the iron families. So hematite iron is mainly found. So where this iron are found? So see here, this important natural resources is mentioned about where the resources which is available and how much of tons or millions, how much it is available. So the two things you have to know about the thing. So the hematite ions are mainly found in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Goa and Karnataka. So the major deposit of magnetite iron is available at west coast of Karnataka. Some deposits of iron are also found in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Next we will move to the coal and lignite. Coal and lignite is the largest available mineral resources. Okay, so we all know about the coal. So the coal which is used for the burning purpose. Okay, so it is a form of non-renewable resources. So once we have extracted, again we can't able to extract. Okay, so that is the most important. So the coal is the largest available mineral resources. So India rank in the third position in the world. So first one it is in China, second one it is in USA and third rank which goes to India. So where this where this coal is found in India. So mostly this coal which is found in West Bengal, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. So the bulk of coal production comes from Bengal, Jharkhand and coal fields. Okay. Next one we come to know about an bauxite. So bauxite is a sedimentary of aluminium rock. Okay, so bauxite is the main source of metals like aluminium. So we all know about an aluminium. Now we are using an aluminium utensils. Okay, so most of the things we use an aluminium. So that is called as an bauxite. So the major reserves which has concentrated in the which comes from in east coast bauxite deposits of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. So bauxite which is mainly located in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. The next one, it is and fourth mineral resources, that is important resources, is mica. So we all know about an mica. So mica is an heat resisting minerals which is also a bad conductor of electricity which used to control. Okay, so it is used in electrical equipment as an insulator. So it is used for controlling the electricity. So mica is the most important one. So India stands first in the sheet of mica production and contribution of 60% of mica trade in the world. So the major mica bearing pegmatite is found in Andhra Pradesh, Jharkhand, Bihar and Rajasthan. So next we come to know about an crude oil. So crude oil means it is a starting while extracting and petrol and petroleum products. So before that a crude oil will be there. So it is a starting oil. So the oil which is being explored in India in many places of Assam and Gujarat. So mainly this oil which has been extracted in only in two places. One is in Assam and another one is in Gujarat. So see in Assam where this crude oil which has been extracted and where in Gujarat where it has been extracted. So in Assam see here Digboy, Badarpur, Naharkatia, Kashmirpur, then Pillai Raya, Rudrapur and Shivasagar and Mauran. All place which is located in Assam. So in this all places we can get this crude oil. Then in Gujarat see a High of Combat, Angaleshwar and Kalol. Then these three places which is located in Gujarat. So in these three places we can get an crude oil. So these are the important places of oil explorations in India. Next we come to know about an gold. So the gold is very important, but the resources which we get from the gold is very limited. Okay, so India possesses only and limited gold reserves. So there are only three main gold fields. So we have only three main gold fields. So which is a minimum reserves only we used to get. So one is an Kolar gold field, Kolar district, and Hutti gold in Ranchur district. Okay, so one is in both in Karnataka and Ramgiri goldfield in Anantapur district, that is one is an Andhra Pradesh. So these two places only we used to get an gold, that is the gold reserves which is very low in India. So one is in Karnataka and another one is in Andhra Pradesh. Next we come to know about an gold diamond. So diamond means it is an clear and colorless crystalline form of pure carbon. So diamond means it is an clear and colorless crystalline form of pure carbon. So it is an pure carbon. So it is called as an diamond. So this diamond which has been which we can get in different colors. So it is in the form of purple, yellow, red, then gray color, then blue, pink, then orange, violet, etc. So nearly we can get through 7 colors, 7 to 8 colors. So diamond will be in 7 to 8 colors. Okay, so the most important that is the diamond total reserves of the diamond which is around 4,582,000 carats, which are mostly available in Panna, that is which is available in Madhya Pradesh, and then it is mostly available in Andhra Pradesh also. Okay, so mineral resources, very important question. So we have nearly 6 mineral resources, 6 to 7 mineral resources. One is an iron ore, coal lignite, then bauxite, mica, crude oil, and then it is in gold and diamond. Okay, so just the content, meaning, and then where it is available, and how much of tons or million tons, how much it is available. So this is the thing which is needed in this answer. Okay, next we come to know about an infrastructure. So infrastructure means what? So infrastructure means that is for the development of the economy we need some we need an supporting facilities. Okay, so this facilities which has been divided into two. One is an economic infrastructure and another one is an social infrastructure. Economic infrastructure means that is to support the production. Okay, to support the production and distribution we need certain things. So like transport, communication, energy, irrigation, monetary and financial institution. Social infrastructure means for the development of the society. For the development of the society, we need a certain supporting facilities. So one is an education, training, research, health, housing and civics amenities. Okay, now let us see about the economic infrastructure. So economic infrastructure means that is for the supporting of production and distribution. That is in order to increase the production and to increase the distribution, it needs certain facilities. It needs certain supporting facilities. That supporting facilities, it is called as an economic infrastructure. So that economic infrastructure, it is called as an transport, communication, energy, irrigation, monetary and financial institution. Okay, so see here this economic infrastructure deals with, that is the transport and communication. So for instance, railways, trucks, post and telegram office, and then port, canals, power plants, banks, insurance companies, etc. So these all needed for the development. These all needed for the development of the production and the distribution. So are all economic infrastructure of the economy. So they helps in the production of goods and service. Okay. So among this, the first one, it is the most important one. They have explained about and transport. So we all know about and transport. So transport is the most important. Then how this transport which facilitate how it supports for the economic development. So transport is well connected and efficient in India. Okay, so see here, India roads, that is good. India has a good network, that is we have an three things we have an four types of transport systems in India. One is an rail, road, then coastal shipping, and then another one is an air transport. Okay, so see here, the total length of the roads in India being over 30 lakhs kilometer. So this area, it's a fully measured through, statistically they have measured here. So India has one of the largest road network in the world in term of railroads. India has a broad network of railroads, the largest in the Asia and fourth largest in the world. So the total railroad length is 63 kilometers, and of 13 kilometers is fully electrified. Then we come to know about the major port in India. So major port, that is one is Calcutta, Mumbai, Chennai, Visakhapatnam and Goa. So handled about 90% of sea-borne trades and visited by cargo carriers and passenger liners from all part of the world. So we all know about an cargo carrier. Cargo carrier means it is a used to carry and goods. Okay, passenger carriers means is used to carry and people. So well versed in which has been connected in India. The next one, it is an air. So see here, a comprehensive network of air route connected the major cities and towns of the country. So the domestic air service are being looked after by Indian Airlines and private airlines. So we have an domestic airlines as well as an international airlines also. So these are the major things which is well located, which is well supportive for the India. Okay, so next we come to know about an energy. So that is an electricity. So electricity plays an important role nowadays. So without electricity we can't do anything now, today's present world. So everything it is fully based on the electricity. So electrical energy is one of the necessary components of our life. Nowadays, without electricity, we cannot survive in this world of technology. The energy sources are classified under two head bases on the availability of raw materials used while generating an energies. So through two resources we used to get an energy resources. One is a non-renewable energy resources and another one is an renewable energy resources. Non-renewable energy resources means that cannot be renewed or reused. That is called as a non-renewable energy resources. Okay, so as it once it has been extracted or once it has been used, again we cannot be reused. It is called as a non-renewable energy sources. So the example for non-energy renewable energy sources is coal, oil, gas, etc. Next we come to know about an renewable energy sources, that is once extracted or once renewed, or it can be renewed or reused again and again. So this is called as an renewable energy sources. So once we extracted or we used, we can get again and again. So the example of an renewable energy sources are, one is an solar energy. So this all energy resources which are abundant. Okay, so we can extract, we can use again and again. So solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy. Geothermal means it is based on the steam. Okay, so geothermal energy and then biomass energy. Okay, so next we come to know about an social infrastructure. So the second supportive facilities for the development of the economy is, the next supportive is an social infrastructure. So social infrastructure which is mainly for the development of the society or for the improvement in the quality of the life of the people. It needs a certain facilities, supporting facilities, that is called as an social infrastructure. So social infrastructure means that is education. So like education, training, research, health, housing and civics amenities. So these are the energy resources that is called as an social infrastructure. So see here they have given an example for the social infrastructure is in school, college, hospitals and other civics amenities. So these are very much needed for the development of the economy. So social infrastructure plays a very important role for the development of the economy. Okay, so under the social infrastructure they have explained about an education. So education plays an important role. So before nationalization, okay, so after independence and before independence, how the education was, okay. So education in India, first the education which has been used, that is an Gurukulam education which has been founded, okay. So it has been flourished all over the economy. So Gurukulam education, then later education which has been started to develop. So Ministry of Human Resource Development in India formulated an education, and then they have given so much of a importance for the education, so many programs which has been conducted for the development of the education. Next, we come to know about an education system in India. So in 1976, so each state has took an responsibility for the development of the education. So both the central as well as the state they have taken they have given an importance for the development of the education. So see here the education in India is first one, it is an first basic level, it is a nursery classes. So it has an 6 level. So first level in India it is an nursery class, second one it is an primary class, third one it is an secondary level, fourth one it is an higher secondary level, then fifth one it is an graduation, then sixth one it is an post graduation. So like this in India the educational system which has been started to develop. Then we come to know about an educational institute in India. So in India the system which has been followed is 10th 10 plus 2, that is plus 2 patterns, 11th 12th pattern which has been started, and higher educations which has based on the universities, that is university level. So we have an private universities, okay. So the state runs well as private institutions, and universities are providing and varieties of course and subjects. We have a nearly number of subject and courses for the for the people to get education. So all this which has been controlled and decided by the University Grant Commission Act. So nearly the share which are received from the education, around 3% of GDP which has been received from the education alone. Okay. So next we come to know about an health. So this is another social infrastructure. So this health infrastructure is also very much important for the development of the economy. That is, if the country is said to be in a developed means the one of the infrastructure, one of the supporting facilities is an health. So health in India is also, India has a, each state has an responsible, each state has an responsible in formulating the health facilities, okay. So they have given an importance. So both the central as well as the state used to take care of the health in each states. So see here the Central Council of Health and Welfare formulated and various health care projects and health department reform policies for the development of the health. So nearly so much of techniques and medicines which has been arised, and then so many systems of a health which has been developed in the India. So some of the medical system, that is healthcare in India, the first one it is an Ayurvedic medicine, second one it is an Unani, then third one it is an homeopathy, allopathy and yoga and many more. So see here, everything which is based on different categories. This allopathy now we are using, that is we are using an tablet, tonic, medicine, syringe, injections like this. This is all based on the allopathy. So now we are following this allopathy. So we all know about an homeopathy, that is the medicinal value will be reduced. So that is called as an homeopathy. So Unani and Ayurvedic, it is all based on the natural. So through natural they used to produce a certain medicine. So that is called as an Ayurveda and Unani. And then we all know about an yoga. So yoga plays a very important role. So nowadays our prime minister who has given an importance for the yoga. So this all medical practice in India. So in India, whatever the medical system which is going to follow means, first they have to take a license from the Ministry of the Health. Then only it will be approved, and it will be allowed in the economy. So the next main thing, that all medical systems are now under one ministry. It is called as an Ayush. So Ayush means it is an Ayurveda, Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, then Siddha. This is an homeopathy. Okay, the full expansion of Ayush: Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, and Siddha and homeopathy. Okay, so see your healthcare service in India. So healthcare service in India, when compared to the other country, India is still lack in the health. So it not shows in a better position. But when compared to the state level, Kerala shows in a better position, that Kerala has an better health facilities. Okay, when compared to the next countries, okay, when compared to the Sri Lanka, India is still in a lower position in the healthcare. So it not shows in a satisfactory manner. So still the healthcare position, it's very low in India only. Okay, so up to this I will stop. The remaining will be continued in the next class. So just a recap what we saw today. So today we saw about natural resources. So natural resources means what? So natural resources means that a resource, that a stock or reserves, any stock or reserves which is found through nature, it is called as a natural resources. Okay, so natural resources are land, forest, water, minerals and energy. So then we have two type of natural resources. One is an renewable resources and another one is an non-renewable resources. Then the main thing that in India we have an rich resources. One is an land resources and another one is an forest resources. Next we come to know about another important resources which are mostly available in India is an iron ore. So iron ore is the most important resources which is abundantly found in India. Okay, then coal and lignite. So coal is an form of burning process. It used for the burning process which is abundantly rich in India. Okay, so India thirds in the third position. So first one in the coal and lignite is China, second one is USA and third one is an India. So India stands third, that is total rank, among the total rank, third rank, Indian rank is third in the world. So next we come to know about an bauxite. So bauxite means that is, it is an sedimentary from the aluminium rock. Okay, so it is called as it is a metal of aluminium. So which is mostly located in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Next we come to know about an mica. So mica means it is an heat resisting minerals. So to protect the heat and electricity, so mica is the best one, so which is mostly found in Andhra Pradesh, Jharkhand, Bihar and Rajasthan. Next we come to know about an crude oil. So crude oil means that is the first through the for getting an petrol or petroleum product, the first raw thing, raw oil, which is called as an crude oil. So with this oil, this crude oil which has been extracted and which has been explored in two places alone. So one is an Assam and another one is an Gujarat. Next one we come to know about an gold resources. So gold, we have an only limited gold resources in India. So only in two places we have an gold. One is in Karnataka and another one is in Andhra Pradesh. And next one, it is an diamond. So diamond means it is an pure form, it is a pure carbon. Okay, so it is a clear and colorless crystalline form of pure carbon. So this is mostly available in Madhya Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so next we come to know about an infrastructure. So infrastructure means for the development of the economy we need certain supporting facilities. That we have two supporting facilities. One is an economic infrastructure, another one is an social infrastructure. For the development of the economy, we need an economic infrastructure. That is, for the development of an economy, for the production and distribution, we need an economic infrastructure. So transport, communication, energy, irrigation, monetary and financial institution, which is all called as an economic infrastructure. And social infrastructure means for the development of the society, it is called as in social infrastructure. So example for social infrastructure is education, training, research, health, housing and civics amenities. Okay, so next we saw about so under social we saw about an education. So education in India, then education system in India, then we saw about an health, and then healthcare service in India. Okay, so thank you students. So in the next class we will see about the contributions of Indian economic thinker. Thank you students.